Hello again and welcome back to the Diamond H. Marty here. Today we're going to add a rear and possibly front guard to my new 6-foot cutter. Now I really wanted to build a chain guard, fabricate everything myself. It ended up that was going to take a very long time, cutting chain links and all that jazz. Plus it was going to cost just in material about $150 for the chain and the hardware and the steel to mount it to and all that. So for right now, and maybe ultimately forever, I went to my local Atwood's Farm Supply and I bought some horse mat. This is 1/4-inch stall mat that goes in horse stalls. And I asked them to cut me 3 5.5-inch pieces off the roll because it would be easier for them to cut it in the store on the rack than it would be for me to get it home and try to find a place to set it down and cut it straight. So they gladly cut it for me. They cut 3 strips for me. This is only 48 inches wide. I mean, yeah, total width. So the third piece, I'm going to cut a patch section and extend it on one end. I thought about putting this in the center and leaving gaps on the back corners, but I really don't think that will be sufficient. So what I'm going to do is put 3/8 carriage bolts through the cutter, drill a hole in the rubber, and attach it with 3/8 nuts, flat washers, and lock washers to sandwich it up against the cutter. And then once it's installed, I'm going to take some heavy-duty shears and cut slits about every 2 inches so the fingers can flex when you run over something. So stuff can still exit, but it won't just fly out anywhere it chooses to fly out. So this is a new project. I've never done this before, but I've thought it out pretty good, so it should work fine. So stick around and let's see how it turns out. Thanks. I guess the first thing I'm going to do is try to get this strip held up here in place. I'm going to put the bottom of the guard at the bottom of the cutter. And once I get this first bolt in here, I can let it hang by the bolt and attach it to the other side. This is not real easy to do by yourself. You need about 3 hands minimum, and I have 2. I'm using these clamps for an assistant. And it appears that I'm gonna have to let that hang loose, semi-loose, and let that hold here. I'm gonna adjust this camera a little bit and get a better angle. One thing I failed to mention a while ago is I put some red dots on here signifying where that hole is lined up, so when this is covering up the hole, I know exactly where the center of that hole is on this top mark, and this small mark on the right hand side is the center this way. So as long as I get this drill over that hole, we're gonna do good. Now I know I'm probably gonna have a little trouble pushing that carriage bolt through there, but maybe not. I guess we're about to find out one way or another. Okay, let's see if this will work. I need a flat washer and a lock washer. I happen to have both. It is very hot out here today. It's 93 degrees. I come down here in the shade by my implement row. So hopefully be a little cooler, but man, the humidity is something fierce. Let's tighten this up a little bit, shall we? That carriage boat, I bought it a little long, but hey, that ain't gonna hurt nothing. Okay. Take this clamp off. I'm going to move the camera over to the other side. Okay, I have the guard stretched to the other side and clamped down. And this next hole is going to be a good guesstimation. Hopefully I have it right. And I did. Isn't that amazing? All right, so push that carriage bolt in there where it's shouldered up in the hole square like it's supposed to be, and I'll grab a nut a flat washer and a lock washer. Let's see how this plays out. Hopefully, these two bolts holding that in there will be strong enough to where all I have to do is drill the other holes and put the bolts in. I'm going to push in on that carriage bolt to make sure. Hopefully you see the plan ahead here. I've got 7 bolt holes on the back end. There's 9 on the front, but they're round slotted holes on the front. These are square for carriage bolts back here. Now they do make a factory either rubber or a chain guard for the front and back, but they're very expensive in my opinion. They may not be to you, but I think this is going to work out. The only purpose it serves is to keep stuff from flying out so far, and I believe this will take care of it. So I'm going to continue on and drill my holes and put my carriage bolts in there, and I'm probably going to go ahead and cut my strip for this to cover this end gap here. And then I'll be back when I get everything tightened up. Well, the rear is completed. I got it all bolted in. It serves the purpose of some protection. I've cut slits in there about 3 to 3.5 inches all the way across to give it some flex. It's pretty tough rubber. Of course, it's horse mat. You know, it's tough if a horse stands and stomps all over it in the stalls. Tell me what you think about this homemade remedy. I'm going to tell you exactly what I have in this total. That's for the front and the back, and an extra strip for filling in the gaps, because this is only 4 foot wide and this is a 6 foot cutter. Of course, you have a radius here too that shortens that up even more. I'm not sure what that calculation is, but I really don't care at this given point. But for 3 strips of horse mat, 5.5 inches long or wide, they're all 48 inches wide, but for demonstration purposes, this is 5.5 inches. This deck on this cutter is 7.5 deep. And this drops down. I wanted enough meat. Let's see if I can hold this camera correctly. I wanted enough meat on the rubber for the washers to hold this and not rip out very easily. And it still may rip out, I don't know. I have a feeling it'll be okay. This is some tough stuff. It was hard to cut. But for 3 pieces of horse mat, 20 bolts, nuts, lock washers, and flat washers, I have a total of $21.76 in this guard system. You can't beat that with a big stick. If I had to replace it every year, I may do something a little different. I may end up building a chain guard and just bite the bullet and go ahead and build one. But for right now, I think this is going to suffice. I'm not exactly happy with this gap, but I'm not drilling another hole in here. It'll either stay on there or it won't, but if you see, I got it matched up perfectly. If you match it in, I've got it matched up perfectly. It's just pooched out for pressure, but there it is. Homemade rear guard for rotary cutter. Let me know what you think, please. Good, bad, and ugly. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel if you can. I have a lot of tractor information, how-tos, don't-dos, all kind of fun and various things. Thank you for watching. Take care.